Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm your host, Sophia. I'm delighted to be here with you. Thank you for showing up for you so that you can process what's going on inside you and feel better and do better. Today's circle is called Empowering Choices. So this will be a really good one for people who are procrastinating, people who are needing to get motivated to do something, people who are having to do something that feels hard or challenging or scary, or people who are trying to set up a new habit or a new rhythm or a new system, and there's some fear or resistance to doing so. So every day we have a choice. We have the same 24 hours a day that everybody else has. And largely, the difference in our lives has to do with the choices that we make. And that has to do with our emotional state and our historical past. So EFT will help you clear memory and energy and trauma and drama from the historical past, help you move your energy in a way that helps you function and allows you to follow through on those choices that your brain is like, hey, it'd be a really good idea if, wouldn't it be nice if you could go ahead and do this? Hey, here's your to-do list. And take the friction out of the field so you can just go like, yeah, I'm actually a yes to this. You know, a lot of these things that we put off doing are 5-minute tasks. Or at least the next step is something that isn't really as big and scary or hard as we make it out to be in our mind. And so we're doing a lot of unlearning from people and places that we picked up habits and fears, and coming into being able to take manageable steps forward in the direction that deep down we know is best for us and that will actually empower us. All right. If you're here for the first time, say hello in the chat. I would love to say hi to you. And I always love to see the size and shape of this circle. I'm aware that sometimes people don't know how to use the text function. If you're watching on a phone, that's okay. I love you anyway. And I also want to give a shout out to the people who are yet to see this video. You're coming in from the future. You're watching this on the replay video library, which is always found at worldtappingcircle.com in the membership area, where all the videos I've done are uploaded, and you can scroll through them and use them over and over for a variety of different subjects, fears, and feelings to clear it out and, you know, feel light, feel good, feel energized. Okay, hey Diana in Albuquerque. Hey Jessica in Japan says this is an incredibly timely theme. Luna, hey, I see you in Florida. Who else is here? Sometimes it takes a minute for the text to roll in. I have cows. So we have cows here in the circle. So in the last week or so, the land that I've been talking about on the circle managed to get some cows. And we are now having 7 lady heifers mooing away in the field, which is such a nice thing. What's great about it is that it gives this land an agricultural exemption for a certain amount of acres, and these cows belong to someone else, so they get to take care of them, and I get to just enjoy the pastoral experience of living with these lady cows. So here we have cows. And I saw a hummingbird this morning on my roses, so I brought our hummingbird back. All right. Oh, hey Barbara in Bluff City, Kansas. I see you. Good to see you all. We are tapping with wider and wider groups of people. I think you're going to start seeing some new names popping up in Circle, which is really exciting for me because this circle was built for people who need help. So I'm excited that I'm finding more and more pockets of people who need help. So we welcome you. As if you're new to Circle, please say hi in the chat and let us know if this is your first time. And speaking of the chat, I want you to know that as much as this helps us feel connected and build kind of a virtual community, one thing that I want to make sure we're not doing is trying to hook up or give each other personal information around name, address, location, email address in our chat, because I want to keep everybody safe. Because just because we tap together and feel all this love, it doesn't actually mean that might be a great person for you to, go snuggle up with. So if you find each other in a different way, great. But please respect the sanctity and the security that we have, which is why I also don't have your faces up on the screen, so that you have privacy, that if you want to attend anonymously, you can, and that if you're working through issues, that those issues are contained in your own bubble of transformation. We're not sharing overlapping issues in person with each other, okay? Okay. Tuning in to what empowering choice you would like support today to make. It could be getting off of alcohol. It could be starting an exercise program. It could be changing your diet. It could be letting go of a certain way of being. It could be healing codependency. There's so many different cool ways that you could use this. It could be learning a new language, or upgrading your ability to use technology, or getting yourself to take time off to do something creative. There's just 1,000 ways that you can make this empowering choice stick. So make a wish, and we're going to jump into the core causes, the subject being around creating an empowering choice for yourself. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Core causes questions. All right, sweet beings. Let's leave the farm, jump through a wormhole, and change reality. Just like that. Finding your collarbones, dropping to the center of your chest. Finding that sore spot in the front of your chest. Giving it a light massage, big deep breath. Big sigh. Tuning in to the empowering choice that feels a little out of reach, a little impossible, a little challenging. Big deep breath. Let's name it. My empowering choice is to what? What are you choosing? Let's say it 3 times. My empowering choice, say it with me, is to, and then say what it is. My empowering choice is to, say it one more time. Big deep breath. Tapping the eyebrows, even though there's a part of me, tapping the temples, that is not fully aligned with this yet. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the cheeks, big deep breath. Tapping under the nose, this part of me, tapping under the lips that is not fully aligned yet with, and then say what that is. Tapping the chest. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the front of the ribs. Tapping the side of the ribs. I deeply and completely accept where I'm at with this choice to, and then name that choice again. Tapping the top of the head, the sides of the head, the back of the head, and breathe. And tapping the eyebrows, this part of me, tapping the temples that has resistance. So just tuning into the part of you that struggles, checks out, distracts yourself. Tapping the cheeks. And tapping under the nose, this part of me, tapping under the lips that resists, and then say again what the choice is that you're wanting to make. Tapping the chest. Why do I struggle with this? Let's ask that 3 times. Why do I struggle with this? Why do I struggle with this? Why do I struggle with this? Tapping the front of the ribs and breathing. Big sigh. Blow it out your mouth. Tapping the side of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist, even though a part of me is really struggling with, and then say it again. And tapping the side of the thumb. I struggle with this because, and then what's the first thing that popped into your head? Say that out loud. Tapping the index finger. I struggle with this because, and then say that same thing again. Maybe it's because I'm not used to making this choice. Tap the middle finger. This part of me that is struggling because, and then say again what your answer is and breathe. Nice, big, relaxed jaw, strong exhalation. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if a part of me is having a hard time getting started or sticking to, and then say your choice. Tapping the little finger. This part of me, tap the side of the hand, that's afraid of what? What are you secretly afraid of here? Afraid of starting and not following through, afraid of succeeding and how that would change me if this choice actually got locked in. Tapping the top of the head. What are you afraid of? Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. Big deep breath. And tapping the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the temples. Even with all this fear, tapping the cheeks. About, and then say again, what are you secretly terrified of? Tapping under the nose. This fear, about, and then say it again, name it. Tapping under the lips. And down to the chest. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping down to the front of the ribs, even with this fear in my body. Tap the side of the ribs. See if you can find that fear in your body. Where do you store this tension or stress or concern? Is it my stomach, my heart, my neck, my shoulders, my head, my face, my hips? Tapping the inside of the wrist and breathing this fear of, say it again, that I store where? Tapping the side of the thumb and breathing. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the index finger. Tapping the middle finger. Exactly as I am. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. See if you can just accept yourself for now, even if you're paralyzed, distracted, putting this off, and feeling guilty or ashamed that you can't seem to get moving on this. Tapping the little finger. I accept this situation. Tap the side of the hand where I feel, and take 1 minute to describe how you're feeling about this. Stuck, afraid, distracted, self-sabotaging, whatever it is. Tell your story as you tap the top of your head and breathe. Keep tapping your eyebrows, big deep breaths. Tapping your temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the cheeks, even if, tapping under the nose, I continue to freak out, tapping under the lips, even if I continue to check out, big deep breath. I'm tapping the chest. I give myself permission to release my resistance around, and then say the empowering choice that you want to make. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the side of the ribs. And I give myself permission, tapping the inside of the wrist, to release the anxiety. Tap the side of the thumb. And the belief, what is a limiting belief you have that keeps popping up every time you try to get started? Is it, I should have done it before? Or is it, it's going to take too long or be too hard? Tap the index finger. This belief, and if you don't have a limiting belief, maybe you have a physical sensation where your stomach gets butterflies or you just feel sleepy all of a sudden. Tap the middle finger. So fill in the blank with what's true for you, whether it's a physical sensation or a limiting belief. And just say this and then fill in the blank. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. That slows me down. Tap the little finger. Stalls me out. Tap the side of the hand. And keeps me from, and then say what it is that you're choosing to create. Tap the top of the head. Part of me is so worried about, tap the eyebrows. What are you worried about? Worried about how it would change my life. Worried about other people's judgment. Tapping the cheeks. Worried about what? Tapping under the nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the lips. Big deep breath. And tapping the chest. Even if a part of me stresses about, and then say again what it is. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission. Tapping the side of the ribs. To acknowledge. And then what are the top 3 things that pop up for you? That maybe I don't know how to maintain it. If I got going, what if I screwed up? Or what if people get jealous? Or what if it doesn't turn out to be good for me? Big deep breath. Tapping the side of the thumb. Say it again. What are your top 3 excuses? Tapping the index finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the middle finger. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. And I give myself permission to release the fear. Tap the little finger. And the part of me that gets stuck because, and then say why it is that you're getting stuck. And breathe. Tap the side of the hand. So let's go back even further. Who in your childhood modeled a similar attitude or feeling when it comes to making a powerful, empowering choice? Oh, I saw my dad refuse to change, or I saw my mom stay addicted or distracted. Who in your family got stuck and modeled, this is how we do it? Tapping the eyebrows. Tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the cheeks. Big deep breath. And I give myself the possibility, tapping under the lips, of recovering from this lesson that I picked up from being around who? Tapping the chest. I picked up a lesson when I watched who? My mom, my dad, my older brother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my stepmom, my stepdad, my foster family. Tapping the front of the ribs. I picked up this lesson of feeling, and then say how you feel. Stuck, helpless, distracted, incapable. Say it again, tapping the side of the ribs. This lesson of feeling how. What was modeled to you? Tapping the inside of the wrist. What did you hear them say about making a powerful new choice? I don't have time. I can't. It's not me. That's not how we do it. Or, don't talk to me about this. Tapping the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the index finger. Even if a part of me learned to shut down. Tapping the middle finger. Tune out. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Turn off. Tap the little finger and do what? What's the physical action that comes with tuning out and turning off? Maybe it's reaching for a beer. Maybe it's switching on media. Maybe it's getting involved in somebody else's drama, checking in on how some kind of crazy maker in your life is doing so that you stay distracted in their experience instead of focusing on your own life. Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows. Even though, tapping the temples, I find myself distracting myself by doing what? Tap the cheeks. Just like, and then name the person that you grew up with who is doing or saying a similar thing. Tapping under the nose. This part of me. Tapping under the lips. I'm so used to being stuck around. And then say this empowering choice that you're wanting to make. For example, I'm so used to being stuck around finances, or I'm so used to being stuck around what I eat, or taking care of my body, or focusing on my own life. Tapping the chest. This part of me that made a choice a long time ago to distract myself, to numb out, to check out. Tap the front of the ribs. Because it was, and then say what happened to you. Beat into me. It was simply not an option. Tap the side of the ribs. I didn't know anyone who was making empowering choices. It was like they were just being pushed around by life. Complaining, being negative, not in control of their mindset. Tap the inside of the wrist, big deep breath. I'm open to the remote possibility of loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. Even if I'm stuck, tap the index finger. Afraid, tap the middle finger. And feeling like I don't have much option here, tap the bottom of the fourth finger and breathe. Do I have an option? Tap the little finger. Check in. Do you actually physically have an option that you're not using? Tap the side of the hand. It's possible I actually have an option even though I forget about it. Tap the top of the head. Even though I distract myself, get sleepy or forgetful. Tap the eyebrows. Or I tell myself I'm too busy, I'll do it later. Tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the cheeks. And I forgive myself, tapping under the nose. For resisting the impulse, tapping under the lips, that life is giving me to make a new choice. Tapping the chest. So let's just examine that for a minute. This wouldn't be an issue if there wasn't a part of you that was tired of it and saying, you know what, I want to do something else. So if that part of you could speak right now, the part that actually says, hey, I want to move forward. I want to try something new. I am so tired of feeling stuck. This is exhausting. This is boring. So if this part of you had a voice and you were really willing to hear it, without fear, without judgment, what would that voice say? What would that voice like to say to you right now? Tap the front of the ribs and breathe. Tapping the side of the ribs. This part of me would like me to say, or would like me to hear what? Speak it out loud, tapping the inside of your wrist. Say your names. So I would say like, hey Sonya, I want you to be able to do what, have what, be what. Tapping the side of the thumb. And tapping the index finger. I'm trying to, and what is the reason that it wants you to make this choice? I'm trying to give you a better life. I'm trying to give you a healthier body. I'm trying to give you more financial stability. I'm trying to give you meaning and purpose. I'm trying to give you a life worth living. Authentic connection. What is it trying to give you? Tapping the little finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the side of the hand, even though it's sometimes hard to hear this voice that's saying, and then say again what this voice is trying to give you. Tap the top of the head. I accept the part of me that's been afraid to listen because, and then say why. Maybe I secretly feel like I don't deserve it. Or maybe I'm judging myself because I think I already blew it. And tapping the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping under the nose. Tapping under the lips, even though there's a part of me that says, and then say again what it is. I don't deserve this, or it's too late for me. Tapping the chest. Tune in and see if you're frustrated or angry with yourself. Disappointed in yourself. What comes up for you here? And breathe. Tapping the front of the ribs. Part of me is beating myself up. Telling myself what? That I don't deserve to feel good. That if I change and move forward, what's going to happen? It's going to change everything. Tap the inside of the wrist. It's going to mean what? What's going to happen if you let yourself commit to this choice and create a steady, rhythmic experience of this in your life? Tap the side of the thumb. Big deep breath. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the index finger. And I give myself the possibility, tap the middle finger and breathe, of releasing my objections. What are the objections again? Can you list 3 or 4 of them? That'll create new work for me, that it'll be embarrassing, that it'll be a struggle. Tap the little finger, that it's going to change my life, that it'll be too hard. Tap the top of the head, that I don't deserve it. Tapping the eyebrows, I'm open to releasing this struggle. Tapping the cheeks. No matter how long I've been putting this off. And what are we talking about again? What's the empowering choice that you're desiring to make? Tapping under the lips. I give myself permission. Allowing myself to become curious. What would it be like just to be curious? You don't have to be like super motivated, just interested. What would it be like? Just experimental. You've already tried to know what it's like to not make this choice. You probably know what not making this choice is all about. What would it be like if I started to follow the impulse to make this choice? Tapping the front of the ribs. Tune in. How much resistance do you still have? From 1 to 10. And that resistance, of course, is made of fear, worry, stress, feeling like I don't know how, feeling like I don't have a role model for this, feeling like I'm going to lose part of my identity as a whatever it is. Depressed person, weak person, whatever you think you are, right? Whatever label you put on yourself. Distracted, ADD. Tapping the top of the head. It's okay for me to release this stress and move myself forward now. Tapping the eyebrows. It's okay for me, tapping the temples, to begin to be curious, tapping the cheeks, to explore what this wise part of me, tapping under the nose, is asking me to do. Tapping under the lips. So tuning into that wise part of you that wants to make this choice. You could say this is your own soul. You could say this is the voice of God inside me. You could say this is the universe nudging me forward. You could say this is my better self or my higher self. Maybe it's my inner child, tapping the chest. This part of me that longs for progress. Tapping the front of the ribs. I've been holding this part of me back with my fear of, and then say what the fear is, of what it will be like if I follow through. My fear of not knowing how. My fear of becoming a slightly different person, because the truth is, when we make new choices, it changes us. I go from someone who doesn't exercise to someone who's physically fit. I go from somebody who didn't know how to do that to someone who enjoys doing that and is getting good at it. I go from a person who is stuck to a person who's moving. That does change me, right? Tap the inside of the wrist. Big deep breath. Tapping the side of the thumb. This fear of changing. Tap the index finger. And becoming more what? What benefit would be here for you? I love and accept myself, tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. And I give myself the possibility, tap the little finger, of allowing myself my own permission, tap the side of the hand, to grow beyond my past, my family's limitations, tapping the top of the head. The examples I've had in my life, tapping the back of the head, the top of the head, the sides of the head, and breathe. Tapping the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the temples. And I give myself the possibility, tap the cheeks, of healing my heart, tapping under the nose. Releasing the overwhelm, tap the under the lips, or the lethargy, right? That part of you that feels sluggish, sleepy, distracted. Tapping the chest, this remaining block, and then tune in. What is that block made of for you? Maybe it feels like anxiety. Maybe it feels like lethargy. Maybe it feels like numbness or distraction. This remaining block of, and then say what it is. Tapping the front of the ribs. Where do you feel that sensation in your body? Tune in to that block right now. This block that makes me feel sleepy. So tune into the sleepy feeling. Or the block that makes me feel anxious. Tune into the anxious feeling and breathe. Tapping the side of the ribs, tuning in. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the side of the thumb. And I give myself permission, tapping the index finger. To drop in, tap the middle finger. To move this through my body. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I don't have to stay stuck for the rest of my life. Tap the little finger. Even if I was the stuckiest stuckerton, the most stuck person on the planet, resistant, fearful, shut down, denying, hiding, lying to myself about it, lying to others about it. Tap the side of the hand. Big deep breath. Tapping the top of the head. I give myself permission to grow past and to grow fast. Tapping the cheeks. What would it be like to grow past and to grow fast? Tapping under the nose. I'm open to the possibility, tapping under the lips, of growing past, growing fast, tapping the chest. Allowing myself to anchor this new choice, and then say your new choice. Say it out loud. Tap the front of the ribs. How does that feel in your body? I give myself permission. Say it with me. I give myself permission. Tap the side of the ribs to what? Tap the inside of the wrist, because I want what? What result do you really want to have? I want to feel free. I want to find out who I really am. Tap the side of the thumb. I want to be able to do what? Maybe it's make more money, or maybe it's have a better relationship. Tap the index finger. Let's say it again. I give myself permission to Because, tap the middle finger, that allows me to have, be, do, or feel what? And what else does it give you? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger, big deep breath. Tapping the little finger, I love and respect myself, tapping the side of the hand. And it's safe for me to create this opportunity for myself. This opportunity to choose what? Tap the eyebrows. Tune in and see how it feels now when you say, I choose, and then say what your choice is going to be. Tapping the cheeks. I don't have to force myself. Tapping under the nose. Tune in and see if there's any remaining resistance. Tapping under the lips. I don't have to be upset with myself. Tap the chest. It's totally understandable why this has been hard for me. Give yourself some empathy. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself the possibility of releasing any remaining, and then tap the side of the ribs and say what's there for you. Self-hatred, anger, disappointment, frustration. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself, or I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to feeling proud of myself. Tap the index finger. What would it be like to look into the mirror a month or two from now and being like, you know what? I tapped on it and things moved, and I'm actually doing that thing that I was afraid to do or was putting off doing, and it actually wasn't that bad. As a matter of fact, here's all the benefit that I've gotten, and yeah, it took a little bit of work. Okay. But you know what? Not having this choice in place actually was costing me more. I'm proud of myself for taking steps to do something about it. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm proud of myself for showing up in circle over and over and over. Tapping the little finger. I'm proud of myself for resetting my mind with my free will and my choice. Tap the side of the hand. I created this for myself. Imagine that you've made this choice. What is your life like? Describe it. Take a whole minute. Tapping the top of the head as you talk. Imagining you made this choice. We did it months ago, and this is what it's like now because of it. Say it out loud. What do you get? Tapping into the lips. And how does this affect the people around you? What a lovely experience you're creating for them by making this empowering choice. Tapping all over the body, thanking yourself for showing up and inching yourself forward, reminding you that the link that got you to this video today will take you to the same video tomorrow, and actually for the next week until we put up a new video. So if you want to do this video again, all you have to do is click the link that you got either via email or via text. It will take you straight to this video so that you can inch along and work on another aspect of this. When you have resolved enough of these yeah buts and what ifs, you will just glide forward without thinking too much about it. It will feel normal for you to move into this new territory and stabilize it for yourself. So easy, you guys. I'm so proud of you for showing up. Pop into the chat. How are you feeling now? What did you learn? What are you committed to? Let's see. Isis says, you look so pretty tonight. You are glowing. Oh, thank you. I can tell you that I'm feeling happy. I'm always doing this tap in the background with you on myself, on my own life, on my own little resistances, my own little self-sabotaging behaviors, feelings, choices. You know, it's not about how fast you go. It's about how willing you are to try again, to bring yourself to task and say, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to inch myself, baby step myself forward. Eventually you look up and you're like, wow, how did I get all the way over here? It's like I grew an inch a day or a millimeter a month, but I just kept doing it. Oh, Bertram says, love you, Sonya. Isa says, I really like the topic, but I struggled with finding words to describe a lot of the questions you asked, and we'll definitely need to do this tap again. That's totally okay. And if anyone else feels that way, remember that you can also pause the video when it's in the video library and give yourself a little more space to think and say what you need to say. Isabella says, an 8 down to a 4, feeling more capable and able. Good job, Bella. Samadhi says, feeling much better. I'm now open again to continue trusting myself and the universe. Love it. That always brings good things. Serena says, ugh, so empowering. And as always, perfect topic. Lots of yawning today. A 7 down to a 3. I love this work. I always learn something new. Like how much the energy of stuckness I feel from my mom is not something I have to carry nor embody. And leaning into my own perfect ideal life and fully acknowledging the power and blessings of my work on the world, no matter what I've experienced this far. Yay, Serena, good job. I see you here almost every week, and I can only guess that things are improving for you because you're putting in the time. Isis says, I was a 10, but now down to a 5, which is awesome. That's 50%, Isis. Diana says, it was a good tap. I feel less internal resistance, but I have a runny nose and I'm feverish, so I'm frustrated that I'm still stuck for now. But I can do the tap again. Oh, well, this will help you heal faster. Jessica says, my anxiety on this completely gone right now. I know you said it was a timely theme, but it brought up even more than I anticipated in the best way possible. The part where we get to look back and feel pride on how far we've come was so impactful. I have self-sabotaged in increasingly creative ways. Now I finally have looked at the root. Bam! Good job. Ryan Fry says, this one was great. I definitely needed to hear this one again, like all week. Thank you. Fry, I've been thinking about you all day. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, somebody says, great tap, Sonya, so effective and amazing. And Jessica says, I'm with many others. This one I really want to build as a foundation of the next chapter in my life. And Barbara says, I did a good tap, but at the end I realized how much more I need to do, tapping down from an 8 down to a 3. Well, Barbara, like I said, you guys, do it again. I've made these plug and play so that they can be used over and over and over. They're evergreen and ready for you. And this is my contribution to your life, so make good use of it. I love you so much. What else? Let's see. Please donate, you guys, to our GoFundMe campaign. I updated it today. And when you donate through this link, you get to see all the past updates. You get to see photos of what we're doing here. I just uploaded a photo of me with the axe throwing target that a friend of mine came and helped me build. I learned how to use a bunch of power tools. He completely tooled me up. My barn is full of amazing tools now. And we made a really cool axe throwing target. So that's fun because there's a place to get that out. You can see the paddle board that he also bought for us to donate to the land. And you can see the pond, and you can also see the cows. So thank you for donating to help us continue to build and develop this healing sanctuary. I look forward to you coming out. I am starting to have the energy and the time to start dream in some other retreats that are less than the 10-day EFT Practitioner training. In the last 20 years, that's pretty much all I've been focused on doing, other than some smaller, short workshops at festivals. But primarily, I've just been focused on training people who want to help move the movement. But pretty soon, I'll be doing 5-day retreats and 3-day weekend events out here as we continue to get the things that we need to make that happen. So thank you for your donations. I have some road repair to do. I have some tent repair. We had a terrible storm in May that blew the top of our new healing space off, and the rain came in, and I'm in the processes of rebuilding some of the things that got damaged and broken and flooded. So, all right. There's the link to donate, and I'm going to put up the link for the fall training for those of you who are considering coming to study EFT with me, learning how to become a practitioner, how to help people like you who were stuck and struggling. It's a great healing for you, and it's a great way to serve the people in your life and your community, your friends, your family, and the community of choice that you care about, to learn how to give EFT sessions. So there's the link for that. It's train, TRAIN, with Sonya, SONYA.US. And it is about halfway full at this point. I am going to Burning Man this year, so I do expect it to sell out by the middle of September. And I'm going to leave you with a cool song I heard on Spotify called Time. I really like the lyrics. I think you will too. It's by Brendan Clemente and Johnny Cosmic. Until next week, I will see you in the circle.
It's golden. All my life I've been someone living high in the moment. Learn to smile before it's done. Take a breath and close my eyes. Pack my bags and say goodbye. Time to laugh and time to cry. You don't know until you try. Time to love and time to sing. Time to learn and time to bring. Time to hurt and time to heal. Lord, I know my time is real. Whoa. Life is made of choices. In my mind, I dare to dream. Don't give weight close my eyes.